the girl a-running in a group. She had a high-speed motor in a 40 Ford coupe. She had a racing cam and a supercharged. Look at Buddy, hot rod at large. She's a hot rod. She's a hot rod. She's my hot rod.
Good. All right, now, more electronic autonomous. The preliminary report by the NTSB, National Transportation Safety Board, on the death of the woman who stepped out in front of the Volvo autonomous vehicle being tested by Uber in Arizona was that the vehicle recognized the woman 6 seconds before fatally striking her. But the car's auto braking system was disabled? Yes. Oh, now, what in the world is a backup driver doing with operating the self-driving mode with the auto stop feature off? Well, here's the deal. According to Uber, they disabled the auto brake while in autonomous mode to reduce the potential for erratic vehicle behavior while testing, but left it on when the driver was in fact in control. What's up with that? Think about what I just told you. This looks bad for Uber. This doesn't look good at all. The bottom line, in a recent survey by AAA, has determined the excitement for autonomous driving is fading fast, and trust by consumers has dwindled after several recent high-profile accidents with fatalities. And I might add, that's rightfully so, because they were coming out hot and heavy. They want everybody to get excited about it, and guess what? People start dying, and it's not good. I have said for some time now that the desire to be the first on the block would not help the cause, but in fact serve to squash it. While other pioneers are testing their products, Tesla went ahead and started selling them with the autopilot vehicles. And Uber wants to pick you up and maybe put you down. Easy, guys. Self-driving is surely our future, but not necessarily our present. And it is not going to be our present. And then a study comes out by the International Energy Agency saying that EV fleets, electric vehicle fleets, will triple in the next 2 years is their estimate. Well, you know what? I'm not thinking that, quite frankly. We're going to go to the headlines, some of this electronic stuff, and I love it. I want the future to be what it is. I want to get there, but guess what? It's not going to happen if they don't do it in such a way to make it safe. Okay. Pittsburgh Mayor William Pudetto is locking horns with Uber over the testing of self-driving vehicles on his city streets. In a recent tweet message to Uber, the mayor said, and I quote, "You never responded to our requirements. You never informed us of your announcement to begin testing. You never followed up on my requirements after the fatal Arizona crash. Your PA lobbyist has ignored everything and has instead reached out to other elected officials to try and cover your mistakes. It's time to change." The bottom line, guys, don't mess with Mayor Peduto. He's not a happy camper, this guy. And I don't think Uber's going to get okay to do this anytime soon. It's just not going to be that way. Another Fiat Chrysler guy has come forward and pled guilty to skimming monies from the employee training account again this week. A $4.5 million corruption scandal. Oh, my God. Michael Brown, a director in the Employee Relations Department from 2009 to 2016, has pled guilty to a federal grand jury of conspiracy to violate the Labor Relations Act. Whew. Stay tuned, guys. This grand jury is just getting started. And it turns out, speaking of Fiat Chrysler, confiscated emails are pointing to a stinky V6 diesels and a cover-up since 2010. Oops. She said she will make Takata airbags her main focus until all the killer airbags are off the streets. God bless her. That's been my main focus for 5 years. King has been the acting director since 2017 until recently when she was nominated to be the official director and can now put some real pressure on the car makers to clean up this deadly mess. Because let me tell you what happened here. Because Takata filed bankruptcy, they put a lot of money aside. They put everything and did all this. But the car makers themselves were also complicit in this. Let me just tell you, they knew, as well as Takata knew. And everybody covered all this up for 15 years. And they're all going to have to start paying. But the bottom line is, you got to get your igniters out of these cars that are possible grenades. They got to get them out of the cars. They got to go. Because people are going to get killed in these cars, and it's not going to be a pretty sight, okay? It's going to be ugly. It's going to be very, very ugly. Extraneously ugly. It just can't be that way. It's got to change. The whole thing's got to change. In case you're wondering if all these trade talks when America's tariffs are making any progress, consider this. Until now, if we shipped the car to China, we paid 25% Chinese tariff. While if they shipped one of their vehicles here, they only paid 2.5% tariff to the U.S. Well, now, with all these threats and tariffs and all this stuff coming up and all these talks getting out and going to town and everything going, China has already voluntarily dropped it to 15%. And guess what? America's just getting started with this whole trade mess. It's going to go down. It's going to go down further. Or we're going to come up, one or the other, because the trade imbalance is just so great and has been for over 20 years with China and Mexico and Canada. It's time that the American people got some of this dough back. And guess what? I think we're going to get some. I'm telling you, they're really working on it. Speaking of trade, used retail giant CarMax, who's always been the leader in the sales of the car industry, always been the leader of used car sales. They lead the league every year. They're top of the line. Nothing ever, they're always ahead. But they have never been, and they are now, they have just passed up the likes of Penske Sales and Lithia Motors as the number one profit margins retailer. Now, do you consider that good or bad publicity? Okay? Hey, I'm the guy leading the league and making money off you. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. I don't know if I want people to know that. I really don't. I think that might be, hey, I screwed up and told you. One of the oldest scams in the car business, a Flint, Michigan dealer, who shall remain nameless, has been put on suspension for jockeying titles. They're selling cars and not providing the owners with titles till later. And as they kite this title to that one and they move it around, it's one of the oldest scams in the car business. Dealers do it to make money, and lots of it. And they do make a lot of money doing it. Till you get caught. Then it's not a good thing. You don't want to get caught doing this. Then you got the FCC, you got everybody down on you. It's Department of Justice. It's just not good, okay? It's just not good. Possibly one of the largest price-fixing schemes in U.S. history. Auto suppliers, 49 of them, have been indicted for rigging their prices together to get top dollar. In other words, all the people that make wiper blades got together and said, we're going to charge this much for our wiper blades so we can make more. Their competition is, there won't be any competition. We won't lower prices to get more sales. We'll make sure we're all up there so that we make whoever has the best product is going to get the most sales, or supposedly. But the savings don't come to you and I. And I know I've seen this happen. I got to tell you, in my business, I've seen the price of parts just skyrocket. They're not even waiting to get on the road to catch fire. God, thank God T-Rex left the room because he hears that fire word and he just goes nuts. At least 18 Jeep vehicles in the factory lot in Toledo, Ohio, were damaged when one of them just sat there and caught fire. Inspectors were called to the scene, but nobody could determine what the problem was yet. The nature of the fire was not announced. Trust me, If the vehicle was the fault, we'll never be told. They're never going to admit it. Jeep isn't going to sit there and say that one of their Jeeps spontaneously combusted. That's the phrase I was looking for. And of course, it burned up all the Jeeps around it. Not good. Oh, you know what? Something else is going on here, too. Audi has now said that they're going to skip the Detroit Auto Show, just like their arch rivals Mercedes and BMW. And they're not going to be the last to do so, I might add. All of a sudden, auto shows have, I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. At least the Detroit Auto Show has become not something of an issue. They're losing out. The auto show people they're starting to fade, actually. And it's not pretty. It's not pretty at all. And I'm not happy with it because the auto shows are great. T-Rex and I went last year. Oh, my God. I got to interview so many cool guys from all over the world. Daimler. Of course, the guy from Daimler. Or no, Volkswagen. The guy from Volkswagen. I started asking him about the diesels. And he said, I will no longer talk to you. And he walked away. He didn't want to talk about Stinky Gate. So, but it was fun. It was fun while it lasted. And all I could remember was T-Rex just shaking his head going, oh, boss, why'd you do that? You can't do that. The poor guy didn't build that diesel. Yeah, but his company did. Rolls-Royce is building the world's priciest SUV. Are you ready for this? The super luxury Cullinan, named after the world's largest flawless diamond, which is, when you see the price of it, you're going to understand. Previously, their competitor, Bentley, made what they called the Bentayga SUV with a V8 diesel, and that sold for, about 135 pounds, 135,000 pounds, or $184,700. Wait a minute, we're going to go to the car phone. Let's talk to somebody on line one. Let's talk to the car guy. Hey, you're on with the car guy, buddy. Hello?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello? Hello?
Hi there.
Hello?
Hi there.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's up?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
Oh, okay, you're talking about these autonomous cars and these flying cars. This is one thing I don't know if anybody's thought about. Even with the Tesla being self-driving, they're using GPS and satellite systems. Okay, what's to say some of these kids aren't hacking into it and taking control of it, or they can do that in the future and take control of something?
You know, I got to tell you, caller, and here's the deal. You are spot on. That is exactly one of the things that I'm going to talk about in the future here on another show. Because, you know what? Even if all their systems work good and everything was perfect and the automatic stopping and all that stuff worked good, who was going to stop the hackers from getting into the system and killing somebody? You're exactly right.
They could be doing that now, for all we know.
Absolutely, they could be. You don't know. All these crashes might have been the work of some bad guys. It really could have been. That's crazy. But, hey, you're spot on, caller. Thanks for calling. That was outstanding. I'm glad you got to tell these people
thank
this.
you.
Thank you, buddy. I'm glad he called because that's something we're going to bring up down the road. We're going to bring up a few things down the road that you're going to like. Anyway, this SUV for Rolls-Royce, it's 250,000 pounds, or about $340,000. So I'm going to run out and order mine. You want one? I'll get one for you, too. Auto engineers have told us for 2 years, or for a lot of years, of the mileage benefit of higher octane fuel. Well, the Detroit 3 want to make one grade of fuel, as I reported earlier this year. The benefits of higher octane are 3 to 4% more mileage, but the high octane fuel will cost 15 to 20% more. What's up with that? I gotta tell you, this has been a slice, guys. You guys are the best. Nothing is better than my car guy and my car guy fans and listeners, the people calling up. The fellow that just called, spot on. What's going to happen when that happens, when it starts getting hacked into? They haven't even got the system right yet. How are they going to defeat the hackers? How are they going to stop that? And the other thing we're going to talk about, we're going to get the fire chief in here, and he's going to tell us how they're going to fight these electric car fires and how they're going to cut people out with that jaws of life. When you got 72 volts running through the body of the car after a crash, let me just tell you, you don't want to take the jaws of life and start cutting on the car. Not with a metal saw. So we'll see what happens.